And this morning, we have new details on Governor Josh Green's emergency proclamation. The governor has extended it for an additional 2 months. KITV4's Robert Buon joins us live from the state capitol. And Robert, this proclamation was set to expire yesterday. So what do people need to know?
Yes, Leah, it was set to expire yesterday. So good timing from that standpoint to extend the proclamation, but also just in a milestone kind of way of looking at things, tomorrow being exactly 3 months out since those August wildfires. So timing good on a couple different fronts there. Now, along with some of the protections and provisions that had been carried over with the extension, there are also some new elements that are included. Now, taking a look at what the emergency proclamation has overall, it's very comprehensive. It includes lots of things, including some of the county services that are provided, the county and state services that are provided on Maui County, and also things like historic preservation. So lots of different elements, but the one that's talked about the most has to do with residents of West Maui, those displaced by the wildfires or potentially could be because they're unable to pay rent or mortgages, having lost their sources of income. Protection initially put in place by the proclamation does remain for those residents. Now, one of the newer dynamics as far as an amendment here in this 7th extension is encouragement for hotels, motels, and condominiums to make units available for housing some of those displaced by the wildfires by exempting them from housing agreements that would be constituted as a landlord tenant statute. What this means, there's a lot of specific requirements, housing law, state law that requires landlords to provide certain things, things like maintenance response, that just general boilerplate conditions in terms of leases that potentially may be applicable after emergency provisions expire. And so items that may seem possibly like inconsequential, they don't seem like they're that important. They're important enough for some who manage properties or own houses that they haven't made those properties available because of some of those reasons. What the state is saying is, yes, we recognize that there are some loopholes there and that will provide those owners and management groups those protections that are included. One other note that's worth pointing out, just a note from the governor's office, that's one of the amendments. They talk about this new extension. One of the things they included is easing the burden of wildfire survivors who need to obtain records and evidence for identity, property, and individual rights from the State Archives Division by waiving some of the fees for the services that are involved with getting some of those records. Again, it may not sound like much, but for people who've lost everything, every little bit helps. So those are some of the things that we're looking at in this latest extension of the emergency proclamation. Robert Buon, KITV4 Island News.